Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks, number 13, continuing our playthrough of Balatro. And so, over the course of the past few videos, we've been trying to reach the upper levels of the stakes on the yellow deck. I feel like it's time for a little change of pace before we jump back in and try and take down the gold stake. And so today, we're going to be playing with the Plasma deck. You unlock this one by beating any of the decks on the blue stake, and then I haven't actually played any runs with this one, so this will be our first run through with the white stake. And so a couple of different things with this. I'm very interested in how the Plasma deck actually works. So you balance chips and malt when calculating score for the played hand size. As we've kind of progressed through our knowledge of Balatro and kind of figured out how you get these winning decks. You typically look for one card that generates a bunch of chips. You look for one or two jokers that generate flat multiplier, and then you look for one or two jokers that generate X multiplier. And so I'm kind of curious how it works if we still carry on with that strategy into this deck that balances the chips and the malt you have at the end of the hand. Otherwise, I'm also curious to see how things go jumping back down to the white stake. We're up here, I think on purple, I think it's third from the top. And so in going back to this easiest one to where the stakes are lower, you have all of your draws, all of your discards, you don't have to deal with the eternal jokers. Be very interesting to see how much easier it feels as we're down here in the white stakes as opposed to trying to get up to gold. But nonetheless, let's dive on in, see what turns up, see if we can't get something sweet happening with this. As far as this start goes, I'm not super interested in either of these. I do like the foil tag in the sense that it gives you like kind of free reign to just win the first 3 rounds, right? So I might be a little interested in it. The double tags, I still haven't quite mastered their usefulness, but I'm going to end up skipping it here. And so we'll take the foil, battle the doubles, see what turns up. So what's this? It's pretty close to a full house kind of hand. Oh, we just got a flush right from the start. Got to get used to this difference in chips as well, needing 900 for the round. The stakes have raised a little bit due to the deck. All right, so balance to 38 by 38, getting us up to 1400. That feels like it was more than it would typically be, right? I'm pretty certain that's how it goes. Like, it feels like when you need like 30 points or so of units, or 30 points or so of cards to hit 300 to win that first blind. And so getting up to 1400 seems kind of interesting. But good stuff here with the trading card of just a very big build around right from the get-go. If your first discard of the round only has one card, you destroy it and you get 3 gold. And so it does just an absolute shit ton of work, especially on the first ante, just letting us build up to a lot of high cards or something if we want to go that route, or if we want to just eliminate the smaller plays. Very good there, but then also giving us 3 gold around here is pretty good. So I'm quite happy to snatch that one up. Otherwise, Sixthence I do not like. This is just a little bit too challenging to pull off, even though the spectral cards are quite good. Now that we're stuck with $4, can't do anything anyways, so let's move on. I'm still in that mindset of playing the yellow deck to where we start off with the 10 gold, and so it feels a little bit different. But on to the boss. Cards played previously this ante are debuffed, not a big deal. It's all right. Yeah, let's just start getting some of these smaller cards out. I guess the 7 of diamonds is kind of reasonable here, since we're pretty close to a club flush. Might as well just get rid of a card that we would like to be getting rid of anyways. All right, we'll see if we can't get this flush up and running. If the last one was good for 1200, I have to imagine that this is going to be pretty close. The cards here feel a little bit smaller, but we get the 50 chip bonus off the trading card as well. Now, I'm not insane in thinking how this works, right? To where if we think of the way the multiplier actually works, maybe this is an actual interesting thing with the Plasma deck, to where this bonus is typically just like a flat 50 chips. So you have the 50 chip bonus, and then say you get up to 12 multiplier. 50 by 12 is going to get you to 600 chips, right? But with this thing, with just 50 on its own, and then the way that this game plays itself out, I mean, how does this work, right? So that would be like 25 times 25, which would be 625, as opposed to just like this. Did we come up with 600 at 12 multiplier? But Interesting. That is going to give us just a ton of money this round. But all right, how do we want to push forward? I'm fine with the Golden Joker. This will be something that pays for itself pretty quickly, right? If we just need to have 2 rounds pass, this thing is paid for itself. And so I think that's a reasonable pickup. I'm not a huge fan of the Joker Stencil. X1 multiplier for each empty Joker slot. Just not something that we ever really want to play for. Gotta have all those Jokers filled out, right? So here, very strong with the negative Joker tag. Happy to pick that one up. That would have made the double tag previously look good, right? If we had that double tag and then doubled up on negative, but not the way things came together. Otherwise, not interested in the voucher, so we'll battle the big blind. See what we can do here. Discard one of these small cards. All right, Diamond, you're gone. Might as well continue just to build towards a flush. We don't have any scaling cards just yet, right? And so once we find something like, you know, play threes or something like that, we can look to stop just playing flushes every hand. Kind of filters itself out once you get to the 3rd or the 4th round and you start to get some build around activity. All right. Good enough, apparently. Getting those big monies, getting close to those 25 chips for the max interest. I dig it. We're off to the races. All right, so who's here? The lovers, I'm not too excited about. We'll probably push away from the flushes after a few rounds. Not really interested in picking up the planets this early on. Reroll the boss blind feels like the kind of thing that we want, in the sense that I feel like we're just gonna like face smash this run unless unless we run into something problematic, like one big bad Joker, and so we'll pick that up. Still looking for some good Jokers to give us a bit of direction with our deck. We've gone very economy heavy early and haven't found any build around kind of cards, and so see how it goes. Get rid of that 3, get the money and stuff. 3 of a kind aces in hand. Let's just discard the big cards and see if we can't make a big full house or make a big straight or something. Didn't quite turn up. All right, 3 of a kind it is. And say this should realistically be more of a challenging boss, right? Having the base multipliers removed from our stuff, in the sense that losing out on chips is kind of painful, since everything is going to have. But no worries about finishing this round off. I didn't think we would have any kind of struggles. All right, finishing up ante number 3. That reminds me, I hope you all had a fantastic 311 day. It's 312 now. It's that time of year, right? You have Mario Day 310, and then you have 311 Day, celebrating one of the greatest bands of all time. And so I dig it. I always give them a solid listen to the entirety of the day. You boomers out there might remember them. They're a fantastic band. They kind of came onto the scene in the late 90s when the rap rock thing was really starting to pass its way through. And then with the advent of the classic boomer adage of I remember MTV when they actually played music videos. That was when they started to really kind of pick up steam, was in that heyday of the MTV days. And just been a big fan ever since. I did see, like, I've seen them in Kansas City twice. And then they are coming to town for their 420 show. It's a wild ride, in the sense that the last time I went, there's just like this cloud of smoke that hovers over top of the crowd. Like, they tend to play outdoor areas, and at the Kansas City venue, it is outdoor. There's just this like cloud of weed smoke that hangs over top of the crowd the entirety of the show. Like, I don't smoke anymore. My lungs are broken since I smoked cigarettes for like 20 years, but you just get you get the second hand for nothing. But now that Missouri has legal weed and they're playing on 420, like, that has to just be a shit show of a cloud of smoke. And so I'd like to see a picture at least. I'm not going to go, but I would love to see a picture of the way the way that the crowd pans out at that thing. But nonetheless, let's jump back into Balatro. We saw the number 3 and got distracted by a 311 day, and so it's tough. That's what happens when you get old. And so what do we have here? Played aces give 20 chips and full multiplier when scored, which is on this run going to be 12 chips and 12 multiplier. I mean, we're going to buy it anyways. It's on a negative, and so a lot of value there. Otherwise, I don't like to-do list. We're already pretty well geared towards the economy. Pick up the grabber, the +1 hand per round. It's strong in the sense that, you know, we do get all of these extra hands, and so if we actually need the points, we can get them. But it also kind of pays for itself, right? If we go 3 rounds with the extra money that we get, you know, from the hands at the end of the thing, then you only paid 7 instead of 10. It's not nearly as bad. But all right, what's the remainder of the stuff we have here? We finally picked up into a kind of build around, right? Gains +2 mult if the played hand is 2 pair, and that scales. So I'm on board with this. I like how this has kind of pieced itself together here at the end, with the sense that we can build towards like ace high 2 pairs. And I feel like that's a pretty reasonable build around, in the sense that most of the hands that we play, that's quite doable, right? We've been talking about the kind of high card strategy over the course of the past few videos, to where we're just going to take mulligans to high cards, and that gives you a lot of very playable hands, in the sense that if you're playing towards flushes, it's very easy to hit 1 flush, and then as you get to the later stages when you need to score on like 3, 4, and 5 hands, it's very challenging to score on 4 flushes, hand after hand after hand. But if you're just discarding into high cards, it's very easy to play like an ace high straight, and then play a 2 pair, and then play a 3 of a kind, right? Those are the things that kind of lend themselves to just discarding to high cards. And I think that that's something that we'll be able to pull off here with the Scholar and the trading cards. We'll try to stack our deck with as many aces as we can, and then try to just run out 2 pairs and 3 of a kinds and pairs and high cards and stuff. And I think that that's going to come together nicely. So let's see what we have here. Upgrade high card by 3 levels is actually kind of interesting. We can definitely work with that and the Scholar. Maybe we do just build towards high cards and 2 pairs. I dig it. So let's skip that one. I'm also going to skip for the money. We just spent a lot of money, and I would like to be up to 25. We'd spent 10 on the Scholar, like 5 on the trousers. We bought a lot of stuff there. And so let's skip this blind just to get the money. We shouldn't have too much trouble here with the boss, just being the spades are debuffed. So let's see. Easy discard with the small 3. And now we can look to just do pretty much whatever we want, right? We have the aces. Let's see. Do we have a 2 pair? We do not. Let's at least try and discard into 2 pair along with these aces. So we got it now, ace, ace, 10, 10. I think the scaling might be okay. Like, it's tough for me to decide with this Plasma Joker. Like, typically, this would be quite good, but just having us get 1 chip and one chip and 1 mult per 2 pair, not as exciting as playing an ace and getting 12 chips and 12 mult. And so we'll keep that in mind, that we would kind of prefer to hit big chip cards, right, as opposed to this, you know, mult scaling. So what do we got with this one? We didn't turn out for any more 2 pairs. Let's continue to try and roll towards that a little bit, though. I'm just going to play this high card 8. See if we can't pair up and just scale a little bit harder. I don't think that we're going to really need to manage it for this run, but, you know, it's something I would like to kind of keep in mind as we try to shoot up the ranks a little bit, in terms of getting into this a little bit more grindy mindset that it takes to take down the gold stakes. All right, round complete. Good job. Good job, team. It's kind of interesting how I mentioned taking the plus hand card, because it kind of pays for itself a little bit, right? If that was our last hand right there, we wouldn't have got the gold. We just get it here. But it also works for this kind of scaling idea, right? To where we're out here just playing a bunch of hands to scale up our jokers, and having the extra hands to do that. Like if we're trying to scale up high cards, it's typically not a super high scoring hand, but getting 1 extra high card across like 6 or 7 different rounds does really scale up those jokers. All right, so what are we going to run into here? We got plenty of money now that we're up to 40. The X2 multiplier, if the hand contains a flush, I think that's fine. It's a nice, kind of finishing style of card in the sense that if we play like a two-pair, play a two-pair, it's kind of easy to build towards a flush when we're just trying to put these smaller hands on board. And then that's a reasonable finishing move, if you will. So, into round 4, Mega Standard Pack don't want, Straight Flush don't want, and then all face cards are drawn face down at the end. That's not a particularly challenging round. We can manage that. Oh, gotta get our discard. Hang on. 2 of Spades looks fantastic to discard. Now we can play a 2-pair. Probably should have played that 4 as well, but we're upgrading. $3K. All right. This 2-pair is actually kind of garbagey, right? In the sense that we haven't loaded any more queens or jacks into our deck, so we only have 1 queen and 1 jack left. These are probably things we'll be looking to discard here, since it does make it challenging to hit that 2-pair. Don't just play a straight. Eh. What was that? It was queens and jacks, right? You're right, Bust. You're right. Now we got a 10-10, a 5-5, and we'll discard the 4. Scale it up. Put them big boy pants on. Spare trousers. I'm not certain what I think of the concept of spare trousers, in the sense that, like, I assume most people have more than 1 pair of pants, I don't think that that's a crazy ask in 2024 that you have multiple pairs of pants, but I've never referred to anything as my spare pants, right? I was never like, oh man, I went to work today with my spare trousers just in case I soiled myself, had a spare on board. Ugh. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe if you're in the entertainment industry like the jokers typically are, it makes a little more sense to have a spare set of trousers. You're on the road, things get sweaty, Makes sense to me. So what do we got here? The Spectral Familiar, I'm fine with. Destroy a random card, put 2 enhanced face cards in hand. That's what we're trying to build towards. And this is a fairly good hand to just destroy randoms, right? If we're trying to build up to high cards, these low cards all suck. So we've got a pretty good chance to hit that. What is this? Create a copy of a Joker and destroy all others. Our Jokers are too good. I don't want to use that. Add good bonus to a card in hand is typically fine, and then add negative to a random Joker and -1 hand size. That's actually pretty good here. Like, as you're looking to build towards 2 pairs, that's not a challenging hand to make. And so I think we'll actually pick up the Ectoplasm here, just to these hands they're easy to do. It's not that big of a negative, I don't think. All right, so what do we have here? Select 2 cards, convert the left card into the right card. Fine. Pick us up another ace at least. Tie in with the Scholar. All right, next round. And we got all kinds of Joker space out here. I didn't realize that we still had 2 slots left up. Man, not bad. Oh, we still got this discard thing, huh? Ace, ace, 7-7. Sure, we'll play the 9 with it. Look for some more big cards. But right, I don't think the -1 hand size is that big of a deal. Trying to hit 2 pairs, trying to hit pairs. If you're going for flushes, it is a little bit more challenging in the sense that you need 5 cards to hit instead of 4 cards to hit your hand. Like, even then, if we're gonna try and build towards, say, 3 of a kinds, it would play a little bit more nicely there. But all right, we got a lot of discards. Let's see if we can't make a little bit of a bigger 2-pair. Still hang on to that 10 in case we need to try and make a straight on one of these later hands. All right, get them upgrade pants on. We got a pair of jacks. There we go. 2 pair coming in at the end of the day. I think that might be a little bit short. Hopefully we haven't tried to scale too hard here. hopefully it hasn't been too hard. Okay, we only need, essentially just need 2K to get out of this. I think we'll be fine. Let's play this high card ace and then hang on to all of the clubs just in case. I think the high card ace, I mean, we leveled up our high card by 3. And so it's off to a pretty decent start as far as these things are concerned. Yeah, we just hit 5K off of the high card ace. And so the high card ace is just, I guess, actually a bigger scorer than our 2 pairs. Well, I guess not. It's not totally factual, right? With our high card ace, it's 39, so it's essentially 20 by 20. To where, oh, it is just a lot better, right? At least at a start. Once you start to add in the points from the cards played, the 2 pair is going to be a little bit stronger, assuming that we play some higher level cards in there. All right, what do we got? 20 mult minus 4 mult per round played. It's fine, but kind of meh. I do like Shoot the Moon, typically. It doesn't strike me as strong in this run, given that 13 mult is a lot better than 7 chips and 7 mult, but probably going to look to pick this up. It does kind of scale nicely with the queens in hand, but we'll kick off with this buffoon pack. We have space for 2 jokers, so we can go a little crazy here. What's this to-do list? I mean, another economy card. Fine. Like, we're getting to that space to where we can just start, like, throwing money away. But where, like, if you take the red card and you're just skipping a lot of booster packs and stuff, I think it's fine. But we're gonna just start we're just gonna start face rolling this thing, and so it is what it is. All right, so what do we got? 2 face cards in hand. I am a little bummed out that we don't know what those actually are. But we switched into a 2 pair here. We'll find out if either of these are queens, right? So this one is a queen, the one next to the 10. We'll see if... Okay, no more face cards rolled in there. Would we want to just play 3 of a kind? It's not super strong, but I could see doing something like this. At least it's just... I worry we're going to lose touch of where our queen is. Alright, not bad. Aces and tens. Like, it's like playing the shell game, you know? When you can physically see these cards, like, filter their way into your hand. And needing to know, like, the specific one and where it's at is a touch of a pain point, but we're building up okay. And we could just finish this off with high card. I feel like high card's going to be good enough to do it. Two queens in hand. GG. Alright, lots of dollars. The to-do list switched to full house. We could look to do that if we want. But I think we're in good shape to just call it a day with this one. Let's start cracking packs, see what turns up. Where are we at? 2 pair. Good stuff. Hit up that standard pack. Interesting stuff. I mean, we should probably just be taking the ace. We do have the scholar that ties in with the aces. We don't have any just actual face card stuff, right? We have the X2 if we hit a flush. We haven't paid a ton of attention to that. Could realistically actually hit flushes, right? You can play a 2 pair that's all of the same suit and have that count towards a flush, but I think that's... Well, I guess if we get 2 cards out of that, we'll take both of the faces. Alright, so I'm going to sell the to-do list. I don't really want it. 100 chips at the hand plate contains a straight. It is, like, exceptionally strong on this battle, right? Playing a straight and switching to 50 by 50, but I think it's going to be a little more challenging to hit than we want. We'll just pick up the misprint here. Look to sell it a little bit later, but it's a safe enough one here. So as far as these go, I am very interested in picking up the foil tag, right? I talked a little trash about it right at the beginning of the run, but it is quite good here. And so we can already re-roll the boss blind whenever we want. We picked up that voucher that lets us do it, so no need to skip here. We have the foil that we'll play through, and then all diamond cards are debuffed. Isn't too big of a deal. All right, so let's discard that too. No two pairs about. Try and discard into that higher card hand. We got a pair of aces. There's some face cards. Now, I'd say, do we even want to bother with the face cards? Probably not. These queens. This is where the mathematicians among us could tell us what the what the better thing to do is here, like acquiring all of this like. We'll see how many chips that high card pulls in. What was that? About 10k? Well, I'll just keep playing out the high card here and keeping the malt in hand with the queens. And if we spike a two pair here at the end of the day, go us, you know. This should end it. I guess it would have probably been safe enough just to play the queens and jacks, right? I mentioned in our previous video, it's very easy for me to get into this mindset of trying to design runs and design sets to where we just play one really good hand, and this doesn't entirely play towards that kind of thing, and so it's tough for me to wrap my head around this stuff. But now here, both of these jokers strike me as quite good. Getting the X2 for playing a face card is fine. It doesn't entirely tie in with our concept of playing aces, but it's going to work exactly towards the strategy we're trying to pull off. So I do like it. And then also the 100 chips if we play three of a kind. That maybe we're starting to half-ass it if we go after all of this stuff. But these just like 100 chip card things are just so immensely good with this split. What do we got here? The Joker thing just never... I don't think we want enhanced number cards. We're just really building towards getting face cards in our deck. So we'll skip that one. Open up this Celestial Pack. I'm pretty certain I'm going to come in and take that three of a kind Joker. That's strike me as exceptionally good. These all kind of suck. We'll pick up four of a kind, whatever. In a perfect world, we would just be stacking aces and queens, but I don't think that that's going to come together today. So three of a kind. I like it. Queens in hand. 4 gold at the end of the round. We could look to sell that pretty soon. I mean, I'm really just considering getting rid of the spare trousers and going kind of all in on the three of a kind, right? Like, how much more are we going to scale this? Like, let's think about this realistically. We've had the spare trousers since, like, the very beginning of the run. We've scaled it up to plus 24, which would be quite good in a standard deck. But, like, it splits into 12 by 12 mult, to where if we play into three of a kind, it splits into 50 by 50, which is just insane compared to how, like, what this is doing. And so I think I'm just going to sell that off. We'll pick up the face card multiplier here. It just strikes me as being much more consistent. All right, so we'll take the foil Joker on to the next battle. Let's see what we can do. Searching for three of a kinds now from face cards or aces. Oh, hang on. We got to manage our discard a little better, right? Discard the 4. Now we can go a little bit more ham with our discards. Just want aces, kings, and queens, or kings, queens, jacks, aces. I know I discarded an ace there, but it was a downgraded ace. Sometimes I think we should just hang on to them, given that you can still play three of a kinds with it, right? Like three of a kind ace coming out of this. Curious to see what this scores. 17k off of 2 cards. Not that bad. Not that bad. We can continue on with more 3 of a kinds, I guess. It's also a pretty reasonable world to where if the 3 of a kind doesn't come together, high card king is not that bad. Oh, that's a pair. That's a pair of 2s. We definitely don't want that to happen. What's the high card king get us? $4K. Are we gonna lose this? did we fuck around too hard on this? I don't know, man. I don't know. Interesting. It feels like this should have just been a lot easier than what's actually come together here. Got to keep the queen in hand. We can play high card king. I guess high card king is better than a pair of kings. Well, let's get rid of all these other dum-dums down here. Ideally, we'll pick up some more queens or something along the way. 4K. Are we gonna just lose this one? It's a full house, but we lose out on the mulch from the queens. We don't have any full house cards, right? Queens in hand, 3 of a kind. And so the 3 of a kind queens should give us more than the bonus from the bonus in hand, right? Since if we play the 3 of a kind, we get the 100 chips, but the queens in hand are only going to give us 26. So I think we just play the full house. There's no better way to arrange this to where we get this better multiplier off of the photograph. Like, it's only going to take us up from 4 to 8, but we don't have any other mult sitting here. All right. Did we lose it? Felt like this was going to be so much easier than than it actually came together. 12K is good enough. All right. I don't know. I was definitely worried about that one. Sometimes we get a little far into the space of just being on autopilot, and maybe it's a little scarier than we actually think it is. What was this? Nice little combos here, huh? the gain 1 discard per round is fine, and then we have this other foil that's also providing 40 chips for each remaining discard. And so I think this is about the time we'll sell the golden joker. We're kind of done with economy mode here. This game's pretty close to done. We'll pick up the banner for that flat chip bonus, because that's where we really want to be, right? +1 hand size I don't care about. Let's crack some packs, and we should re-roll a little bit more here, I think. There's 2 pair. I mean, I think we're just going to build up to just being with single pairs, right? I don't want it to be stuck in our head that we're trying to go for 2 pairs once we've already sold off our 2-pair scaling card. And we'll just play either high cards or pairs from here on out. Steel ace is good. See if we can't get a better joker in here. Alright, the last little bit. 12 mult if the hand contains a straight not interested in, and then adds a stone card to the deck when the blind is selected. Stone cards are good, but we have to get rid of at this point, right? We never get rid of the tribe. That's a negative. Photograph is pretty unappealing. The way that we would be making photograph good is if we play something like aces full of kings, right? So we play ace, 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 king, king, and then the aces hit on the scholar. So we go up from like the base 4 malt and then pick up 12 from the scholar, getting us to 16 malt, and then the photograph hits and takes that up to 32. But these stone cards just seem quite good. Like that X2 malt, our deck isn't really set up in a way to take advantage of that. I like where this is going though. Just picking up all these plus chip hands seems like the way to approach this round. All right, so we could pick up the rare joker. Next is polychrome, which I typically love, but has the opportunity to be kind of weak here, and then at the end play 5 cards. I think we just full skip this round. Shit, I did this in the previous video to where I intended on playing against the or doing the full skip, and then I just completely fucked it up. Welcome to playing with Bust. All right, so we're good to just do we need to find the 3 of a kind? Is it that big of a deal? Maybe it is. I'll just play this pair of aces and see if we can't backdoor into 3 of a kinds with these jacks. $32K. Those balanced chips doing quite a bit of work. All right, yeah, I feel like this is definitely on board with how this strategy should be going. Just with this thing, you just absolutely go for the chip cards. This will be an interesting deck to cycle back to once we've decided to take this one up to the max. I'm not interested in what's available. Don't need the common jokers. Don't need clubs. We can finally start cracking Arcana packs. Something we typically do a lot earlier in the run. You find the things that let you just get a bunch of gold, right? So let's do this as we're in the space. I'll go ahead and just turn this ace lucky. Kind of whatever about that. Pick up a bunch of gold off of the temperance. We can get rid of 2 cards from our deck. I think getting rid of 2 cards seems better than the 2 random tarot cards. And then these stone cards are going to be quite good, I think. What do we got? You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I feel like the actual avenue to take is to take the 2 random tarots, but let's roll the dice. You know, God, I don't know if I've ever hit that. I don't know if I've ever hit the Wheel of Fortune on video. It's just it's not something that comes together for us. Where are we at with this foil? Earn $2 per discard if no discards used. I mean, it just gives a flat 50, right? With the queens, we have to have 4 queens in our hand for it to just be better than a flat 50. Like, it's probably time to get rid of Shoot the Moon as well. Right? 3 queens gives us 39. 4 queens gives us the 52, where we always just get the flat 50 out of this foil card. All right. Welcome to the team. Man, I think we just keep going in. Getting these extra stone cards seems like it's a valid strategy. All right, 3 of a kind aces. It's kind of our premier hand. Luckied into 20 gold there as well, LOL. That's how you do it. Oh, and we just crushed through that one. Nice. 75K off the 3 of a kind aces. I don't think we hit the bonus multiplier. I think it was just the money. Maybe you hit both with that case, though. I don't quite remember. All right, what do we got? Earn money, don't care. X3 mult, if the poker hand has already been played, is quite good. If we're just going to be out here playing high cards. I don't know. I just don't. I have a hard time believing. I'm not going to do the math on that. I just have a hard time believing that X3 multiplier is better than a flat 50 chips. We'll pick up the tower here. Just go stones where we can. All right, I'm feeling much better about this one. That was quite the scare that we had earlier, but I think we're in a good space now. Skip over these queens. Booster packs, re-trigger, don't care. The pair, planet, sure. Rerolls are starting to get expensive. What's this? 2 chips for every card remaining in your deck. Like, it's not even like premier in terms of what you're typically doing with your deck, but I mean, just getting like 50 chips out of this thing is both very doable and just so strong on this. So it's like we've just got 50 chips. The blue joker we're going to call 50 chips. The banner, which is going to give us usually like 210, and then 50 chips, 100 chips for 3 of a kind. Okay, okay. I think we're good to go. So let's continue to use the joker. Got a pair. You want to just play 2 pair? Sure. Kind of counts as a discard. $50, 72, 50, 160, 50. Smash it. No pairs though? Life's gonna be like that, huh? Alright, high card. High card is probably better than 2 pair was. 50, 62, 50, 160, 50. Easy peasy. All right. I wonder at this point if we can't just skip directly to the end boss. I'm not entirely opposed to it. All right, let's open this pack up and just make a run. Oh, stone cards, huh? Okay. I think we're just gonna do it. I'm in. I've decided this is the life we're going to live. We need to keep a little bit of money in the event that we want to re-roll the boss blind, but I gotta get this video out of here before we hit the hour mark. Alright, so where are we at? 2 tarot cards? This is where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop with the High Priestess here. I don't care about straight flush, we'll sell it for 1. Full house, I know you can't see these. Might as well hang on to. There's a world where we play full houses. Alright, next round. Skip the blind. Skip the blind. Playing 2 pairs sets money to 0. Sure. Okay. So we want to do our discard. Now, I mean, we can just play stone card. It's a pretty good high card on its own. I'm curious to see what that actually scores. So we get the 10 this way as well. $73K, not bad. We can look towards more real 3 of a kind type hands after this. So let's play the high card ace, and then we'll see if we can't find kings, jacks, queens, whatever it takes to play 3 of a kind. Ace high straight. It's like the hand we're never playing this round. Sure, we'll play the straight. We can say that we've done it. All right, into ante number 8. Let's see what we can do. Maybe we'll end up with a little more from the shop. Who knows? We're about to get a big bunch of money. Ice cream turns up, just like legitimately one of the absolute most strongest things we could have picked up right right before the end of the run. Okay. So what? Let's get rid of the delayed gratification. Earn $2 per discard if no discards are used. We were just using that for the flat chips anyways. All right, so ice cream in. And say we could have picked up Tempest or whatever it's called, so that you get the guaranteed good card out of the Celestial pack, but whatever. That's all anyone's saying at this point. Ace added. Nothing that gives the bonus chips. And then we should probably stop here at 17. It costs $10 to re-roll the blind if we want to. Probably gonna re-roll this Violet Vessel on the very large blind. 600k seems like something that will probably struggle a bit to take down. All right, though. Re-roll. All cards debuffed until one Joker sold. Sure thing. Very easy to come in and just sell this this flush multiplier one, right? So that can go. And then getting the gold off of the trading card is no longer a real point of interest. And so we want to come out here and just start finding 3 of a kinds. Let's take this 2 discard to start, see if anything turns up. It's a 3 of a kind queen. This should be a pretty big score. $103k off of one hand, not bad. 3 of a kind jacks. Probably not enough to finish, right? That last hand did have the stone card in it, which gives a pretty big chip bonus, but I think there's like a 0% chance we lose at this point. High card should be enough to get us there from here. Alright, pair of aces. GG. Well played. Good job, Bus. Not bad. Not bad for our first run on the Nebula, on the Plasma, whatever this one was called. It took me, a touch of time to figure out just how obnoxious the chip cards were, because typically the chip cards aren't what you want to play towards, right? You typically want 1 bonus chip card, then you want 2 or 3 of the flat multiplier cards, and then you want 2 or 3 of the X multiplier cards, and that's how you get the big stacking bonuses across the board. But with the balance thing here, it's very easy to kind of figure out what's going to give you the most value, in the sense that the scaling cards probably won't scale as hard as some of these plus chip cards, and then the foil cards are just spectacular in here. And so I think that's the very highest level of idea to take into mind it with this plasma deck, is to look for the plus chip cards, right? So if we looked at get 100 chips for 3 of a kind, that splits into 50-50. It's very challenging to do better than that. And so there might be, some kind of world to where you still want to build towards that X multiplier, right? We touched on the idea as to where if you have some of the stuff that say like lets you re-trigger your cards and then you get bonus multiplier. And so if you're getting like 8 multiplier per play and then you're doubling that, maybe that's enough. But it sounds like that's going to be kind of the corner case. That's going to be the exception to the rule, to where you've developed this deck that just generates an absolute shitload of X multiplier, and then that X multiplier balances out. Like, I would say the absolute vast majority of the time, the best thing that you're going to be able to do in this run is to just take the plus chip cards. And that's what really, paid off for us here. We had that plus 50 chip Joker right from the very beginning, and then as we progressed through the run, picked up more and more once we actually discovered how powerful it was. So nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Busted Me. Thank you for being here.